Ladies and gentlemen,
What are your qualifications?
boys and girls,
And he said, I'm afraid, but I used to smoke, but I gave it up because someone told me that it would take 10 years off your life.
now is the time where
And it keeps getting funnier every single time.
myself and Jim are going to speak.
And so the homeowner, he jumps up and he grabs one of the rocks and he
Not again.
there's a it's a walkout. Yeah, right. It's a walkout basement.
Every Friday night. I hate this neighborhood so much.
Ta-da-da!
Well, Jim, we're back.
We did it.
Let's start off by saying it's Thursday, it's Thanksgiving, so we wanna wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. And honestly, I think Jim and I both and I'll let Jim speak on this a little bit, but just huge thanks to everyone that's kind of supported us this year. It's been a wild journey. Really awesome opportunities for the both of us that have kind of transpired ever since then. Jim, what are you thinking about?
Yeah, I don't think so.
You don't want to say thanks?
I think all that came just from all my hard work and dedication and just pure talent.
All right.
So, I didn't just they did. I guess. I mean, thanks for listening and stuff. Hope you had good turkey.
So we hope you're listening to this on your Thanksgiving family dinner,
Right?
Just have it going
hey,
on,
will you guys be quiet for a second?
so you guys can listen to the movie hour. Emily, thank you for being our producer.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate you and always your willingness to be here. So, but yeah, it's
She demands it.
well, it's been a fun little journey here. Almost a year down with the show.
Almost.
And-
Yeah, it's almost the end of the year.
Exactly. So, and with the end of the year comes the best time of the year for movies. And oddly enough, you guys are probably, I wonder who the guest is this week. And we decided to kind of switch it up a little bit. This week, we're going to have our Oscar Best Picture talk. We'll do other ones about specific awards, but this one in particular, we're going to
Pacific, like the ocean.
specific awards on certain awards. But this one, we're going to just kind of dive into our Best Picture favorites. Kind of like a fantasy football draft in a way where we kind of just go down our top five and just
you just told a bunch of film nerds fantasy football.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, well, I don't know that. I don't have anything to do with that.
So we're gonna do that. But yeah, Jim, it's been about a week since I saw you. Our last episode with Charlie did really well.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, I guess because we didn't see each other. Because I know Charlie was here, we didn't see him. That's what it was. Okay, yeah. And how did it do? Did people listen?
Yeah, we it's one of our more popular ones. It wasn't as popular as Jeff Johnson. Sorry,
good old Robert Johnson.
Robert Andrews. That's where I was going.
Robert was good too. Yeah, but Jeff seems to be the most popular so far.
But yeah, that one I would say that was probably our third most popular one.
All right.
So yeah, it was a good. I'm glad you guys listened to it. We had a bit of an uptick on listens for that one. So yeah, we appreciate that. But let's just jump right into it then. We got Oscar season coming up. Wait, let's talk a little bit about what we've been up to. We haven't really talked about movies the last 2 weeks.
We have been doing other stuff and getting busy and like you've been going seeing mad film, like you've been out of you're catching up.
Yeah, well, I feel like Emily and I, because we did go for the company, we didn't actually talk about it last week. So Emily, this will be our moment to talk about Frozen 2.
Frozen 2.
We went
Is that the one where the moose dies at the end?
Exactly right. Where we went for my company. We went to an early screening a Monday ago, so not last Monday, but the one before
right
that.
Before it came out.
So, Emily, I'll let you kind of unpack what your initial thoughts on Frozen 2.
Well, I grew up in the era of Disney movies that had like kind of darker, the fairy tale undertones from history, and so like I'm not used to the cartoony Disney ones. Like they always throw me off how silly some of the scenes get, and so it took me a few days just like really thinking about the actual storyline and the actual message and listening to the music separately from the cartoon, and I realized, I actually really, really like this movie. I love the sister bond. I love the adventure, Kristoff swooping in when Anna is in grave danger and then saying
No.
What?
No.
I loved it.
Okay, that's fine. We're not gonna. You don't get specific.
No, No, this is seriously a good one, and it's already been spoken about. So it's not like a spoiler. But he comes in, he picks her up, and he's all like, "I'm here. How can I help?" And you just don't see that in anything. You can sigh all you want, but it's a big deal. And this is why I will never speak to you about Charlie's Angels either, because there's several themes.
I'm the one that
because I'll get sighs from everything that I think is wonderful.
I'm the one that tried to pull it up and watch it the other day.
I want to talk about Frozen 2 just a little bit too as well because I loved Frozen 1. I don't care if it's uncool to say. I really enjoyed Frozen 1.
If we both like the same things, it'd be boring.
It'd be very boring. And the music in particular for Frozen 1 is really good. I like the music from there. There's a lot of good songs there. And I'm not after 2 weeks almost have gone since I've seen it, and I'll say that I didn't like Frozen 2. I thought there were a lot of things that I looked at Emily and many times in this movie, and I was like, "What just happened?" Like they just kind of things just disappeared that was supposed to be a big deal, and Emily knows exactly what I'm talking about, but I don't want to spoil it for people. But it just disappears, and they don't acknowledge it, and then like there's like actions that they solved in the first movie don't make sense in the second one because they're doing the exact same thing, and a character in particular gets completely forgotten for the entire movie, and it's just really weird. And this person doesn't do anything about it. He's just like, all right, whatever. But yeah, if you have kids, my uncle, my brother, and his kids are seeing it right now, so I can't really tell him to go see it. But if you have kids, it'll be enough to get them entertained throughout the entire movie.
I heard they were crying though. What do you mean you're
entertained?
Olaf really
there
his
was
character.
There was a point in the movie where
don't spoil it for me.
I'm not.
There were kids that were crying in the theater, and
I just heard it's a traumatizing movie for kids,
I feel
and
like
they should stay
there
away.
was just one child who I think was very attached to this one character, but it's a Disney film. Everything turns out fine.
Then you cut to it's actually like some dude that's like 37 with a neck beard. And he's just out there.
It probably was, but yeah. So we saw that. And I was a little disappointed. I was hoping that this was going to be the movie that kind of dethrones Toy Story 4, because honestly, this year for animation hasn't been that good. And
well, we haven't seen Abominable yet.
It's true. And Abominable, I hear is positive things. I'm still hoping that it's such a poor year for animation that there's an opportunity that Angry Birds 2 gets nominated for best animated movie.
See, I've had a hard time. Like, I haven't gotten into any of the cartoons in a while. Like, I haven't even gotten through Inside Out. Like, everyone tells me how good that one is, and I get bored.
Is there a reason for that, or I just
get bored? I don't.
Why do you get bored though?
I don't. I've got to the point where everything starts turning into sadness, and I just didn't care. I just was like,
right.
What else is on?
But yeah, so
I just didn't like it.
That's what happened. It's unfortunate again, but whatever. The next thing we caught up on a lot of Oscar movies that we haven't gotten to talk about yet. I saw Ford v Ferrari.
I saw a little bit of that,
and I saw that a couple weekends ago. I really liked it. It was solid.
Mm-hmm.
They're shooting themselves in the foot when it comes to award race. That I think it's going to ruin. Because they're nominating Matt Damon and Christian Bale for Best Actor
against each other.
Yeah,
that's dumb.
And they're gonna ruin that because I think Christian Bale.
I don't think either of them were.
Christian Bale, if he was, if there was to be one of them that would be nominated, right. Christian Bale would be it, and it would be as supporting actor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's Christian Bale, and they don't want to put. Yeah, I can see what they're. And I really like James Mangold too. I like his movies.
Yep.
3:10 to Yuma. He did. I always want to say Walk Hard, because it was the Dewey Cox story, which was the the mockumentary of the one that he did with Joaquin Phoenix.
Walk the Line.
Walk the Line.
Okay.
You haven't seen?
I haven't seen Walk the Line, and I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh my goodness!
So,
They're both great, but that director's really good. So when he did Logan, yeah, it was like, whoa, he's doing a comic book, and he killed comic book movie. But I thought it was okay. The pacing of it, I could see why people. I mean, it's a good movie, but it wasn't like, oh,
yeah. It made me care about racing, which is
Go America.
Yeah, exactly. It's something. And then if you know the actual story of what actually happens, you know, it was awkward getting into my sister's Ford Fiesta after the movie was over. So that was funny.
You have to drive it like a sports car.
Well, we're just like, wow, we freaking hate this car.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that happened. And then I saw The Irishman. I invited Jim to come with me.
I couldn't do it
Saturday morning because I knew for a fact if it came out, because it's 3.5 hours long, guys. This movie is long, and if I knew for a fact if I was anywhere but in that theater, I would be distracted and I wouldn't have been able to finish it.
Well, and I like being able to pause it and go to the bathroom and stuff. But Saturday I just couldn't go after Charlie came on for us with such short notice. He came into town and had that event on Saturday. So if I would have blown him off, thanks for coming on, dude.
bad move on the podcast.
Yeah, it was a really good time actually. Saturday was really cool. So I had to go to that. So I missed it, The Irishman. That's why I asked you if we could push back today till Friday, so I could go home and watch The Irishman on. But that's all right. I'll get it. I'll watch it.
We'll talk about it next week.
I'll watch it during Turkey Day.
And then I also watched Dolomite Is My Name.
Dolomite,
which I enjoyed a lot more than I thought it would.
I told you.
It's solid.
I
a lot of a good message.
Yeah, it's not like one of those movies where you even think about telling someone, but then when they ask you about it, like, actually it was pretty good. Yeah, Eddie Murphy's great.
Yeah, Netflix is coming out swinging when it comes to award season. I think, and I'll talk about it here in a second once we get there. But
that's called a tease.
Dolomite is going to get drowned by the other Oscar contenders.
Oh yeah. I'm just going through the list right now. Like I could go and there's nothing, and it's sad because but at the same time, what else you got? Because I already see now Eddie Murphy. He's back. But it's like he's doing a stand-up special. He's got Coming to America Part 2 coming out. Plus he's doing Beverly Hills Cop 4 or 5. And they're like, oh, he found his comic genius back. It's like, oh, come on. There's no such thing as like. It's sometimes just circumstance, and Dolomite was really good, but he was good in some of the other stuff I've seen him in too. He just hasn't been in the limelight. But I don't. Yeah, this movie will get forgotten. I mean, you can go through a bunch of them like that. Like I want to see Motherless Brooklyn, just because I love Edward Norton and that's his baby. But that's going to be nothing. Dr. Sleep is getting great critic reviews, but there's nothing going on in there. The Good Liar has that cast, and nobody's talking about it. Like, you just keep going through, and we're not even like the top 30 rated films right now for, they're not even going to Ad Astra, not going to smell it.
Nope.
The Lighthouse, nope. Booksmart, nope. It's like there's not going to be an Avengers Endgame in the.
And there's the thing is that earlier in the season I was like, it's going to get there, but it's just such a packed year.
Because remember when we were talking 3 months ago when we were going, I don't know, man, John Wick and Us.
Yeah, it was like maybe
that was like
Booksmart, Rocket Man,
and I hadn't seen either of them at that time.
Rocket Man has lost its buzz as soon as it came out.
Sure did,
and
because it's a pretty. I'll give it all. It was actually a pretty good movie. I just don't like
musicals.
No, it's not. I don't like his music.
Okay,
I don't give a crap about Elton John.
Yeah, I didn't grow up listening to Elton John.
I don't know anybody. I don't think anyone did. I think
our family.
Somehow. I think Walmart must have bought all their albums. I don't understand how he sells so many albums, because I don't know anybody that could sit down right now and just, other than like 2 songs, and could like, this is a deep.
Rocket Man.
Here's a deep cut. I'm going to play you a deep cut from Elton John and have the whole crowd sing along. That doesn't happen.
Yeah. So that movie's going to get forgotten.
Yep.
And then
No Two Popes.
Yeah. Well, that's another Netflix one.
Yep.
And it's just going to say, because Netflix came out hard with their movies this year.
Yeah.
And they just don't have enough money to push.
They're running, because they got all of them got to be hits, or they have to recoup. It's not like the other people that can have a bomb, and they'll even have a lot of the films that are up for Oscars don't make money.
Yeah,
they don't make money, and so they're losing money to put up their best films. That's why everyone, when next year when we talk about these movies, no know what we're talking about, because nobody watches these movies except for nerds like us.
Exactly,
because we go watch Frozen 2 and we get bored.
Well, let's just jump right into. Well, let's talk about our honorable mentions.
Mentions.
You give out your honorable mentions, and then I will give out mine afterwards.
All right. Well, the ones that, so I kind of did my honorable mention / ones that I really, really want to see still, that I haven't got a chance to, or like I'm gonna put Uncut Gems on there. Just because I keep hearing about Adam Sandler's performance, he'll probably get nominated for a Golden Globe, but nothing else after that. It's gonna go away. There is Honey Boy, which is, as much as I loved Peanut Butter Falcon, Shia LaBeouf. I've always been, even though he's been a little crazy and weird, I've always liked Shia LaBeouf. And so when I hear this one's getting better reviewed than Peanut Butter Falcon, I'm like, all right, I'm in. I want to see the new one by Ryan Johnson, Knives Out.
Knives Out, yeah.
It's getting great reviews.
It is.
And everyone's... I don't know why people are trying to say Ryan is not a good director. When are they going to realize?
It's just nerds.
Well, did you know that, and I hate to break it to everyone, but if you watch Star Wars 8, the one that you hate so much, it's the exact same storyline as Empire Strikes Back. It's exactly the same. And yet all they do is
that.
Yeah, no, but all they do, and the same thing they
Nice
point
sound
out.
effect.
They point out 7 as being a remake of 4. That's exactly what they did here. Is they remade that movie again. And later, when we get into a Star Wars when that comes out, I'll tell you the comparison and why it's the same film. But anyways, apparently Knives Out's really good. No Dolomite, no Report. Now you get to the ones where I think are going to get snuck out but deserve my honorable mentions. I'll put Jojo Rabbit. I think it'll get ignored. It might get nominated like for a Best Picture or something like that, but it'll be like the 9th film.
Yeah, because they usually do 8 roughly.
It can be anywhere from 5 to 10.
Yep.
After a couple of years ago, they changed that.
Yep.
And so I think it might get nominated, but it's going to get mostly passed over. And pretty much other than that, if I'm flipping through, I would probably say, because I loved it, but I could see why people don't get it, and it's not hitting well with people. Critics are loving it, the audiences are hating it, is The Lighthouse.
Yep.
And of all the movies that I mentioned, the other ones I haven't seen, of course, The Lighthouse, I think, is probably my favorite film, just because it's, me, and a lot of times I'll take a point of view just to be over here, and this film is so in my wheelhouse where I could put this on and just piss people off, and I'll just laugh and laugh and laugh, and they don't realize how funny it is.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good honorable mention list. And I'm going to run down mine real quick, and then we'll get to your
buddy.
5.
You don't got to be real quick. We got a whole hour, buddy.
That's true. Honorable mentions, Knives Out. Yeah, I feel like that's going to be a little late to the party just because I haven't heard much buzz around it. And
I think because of Star Wars 8, he got crushed.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Which is wrong because all of his movies are great, including Star Wars 8.
I love Star Wars 8.
It makes me cry.
Same with me.
Yeah.
But a lot of things make me cry, so whatever. Okay, and then we got Peanut Butter Falcon. I feel like that's going to be left out.
Yeah.
Honey Boy will also be left out.
You think?
I think so. Yeah. Us.
Us.
It will be forgotten.
It's on HBO. Just released out on HBO this week.
They're making another push for it. So just to kind of remind people. Yeah, this came out and this is when we started
earlier this year. Yeah,
it was like February.
Yeah,
I think is when it came out.
Yeah, we were talking whenever. Yeah, our right before our first episode.
Yeah, so
that was our first thing we went to.
Yeah. Weird, right?
Yeah. That dude that sat next to me.
Just
That's
Mercy.
when I still having panic attacks every day.
Just Mercy is the movie with Michael B. Jordan that's coming out in December. I'm really excited to see it, but I don't think it makes it. Little Women, I think that's another movie but here's the thing with Little Women, it is literally a Oscar, for lack of a better word, wet dream. It is. It's got Greta Gerwig. It's got Meryl Streep. It's got Timothy Chalamet. Yeah. So I
a lot of movies. There's a bunch of them like that. That are just like, if you look at who's in, like The Laundromat.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a cast in it that you're just like, what the?
It's like, this is Oscar bait as it gets. Ford vs Ferrari. I think that'll also be left out. Joker.
See, that was on the borderline for me because I love it so much, and I know it might get butt out, but I don't care. That's like one, like out of all my one, I'm like going, here's the logical ones, but this one I'm putting in anyways, just because.
Joker, and then I'll say Uncut Gems too. Uncut Gems is the Uncut Gems and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Ever since we saw Good Times, and I was just, I didn't even necessarily like the story, but the acting, it was so good in it that I was like, I'll watch whatever these guys make.
Yeah. Well, is that who's doing Uncut Gems?
Yeah, same.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That's his next movie. It's the Safdie brothers.
We both got to go see that together because I'm so excited.
That's who made this movie. That's those guys. Those guys that made Pattinson made you go, hey, that dude can act. Now apparently did the same thing with Sandman, and now Sandler's like might get nominated for an Oscar for it.
I am so, because I've seen the latest trailer for it, and dude, he looks so good, and I'm so excited.
He's a good dude.
We're obviously biased because it's been very clear on this show that we love Adam Sandler.
He's a good dude. I don't care if you don't like his movies. That's okay, but don't say they're all crap because it's a wrong point of view. It's like you might not like Happy Gilmore. You might not.
I love Happy Gilmore,
but I love those movies. Yeah, just like
my childhood.
Yeah, like the Cable Guy for me. Like I made you watch the Cable Guy because it's one of my favorite movies. Mm-hmm. Don't tell me I can't like Adam Sandler.
Yeah, it's a solid watch. I really do enjoy seeing this kind of portrayal, and it looks like he's taken there's one spot and it was like, oh, there's Adam, but most of the time you're just like, wow, this is not Adam. Yeah, exactly. That you know exactly which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right, give me your number 5.
So we're going 5. So if my outpick,
yeah,
because I think there'll be up to 9 films nominated this year.
I think there will be too.
Yeah,
and afterwards we'll kind of run down our 9 at this moment.
Okay. So I'll put just 5 because I already talked about it, and I think that it's going to get mostly because of the hate. The Joker at number 5 is simply going to be there in my mind just because it's enough of a controversial pick that if it's on there that it will make people give them something to talk about, and even that's good press for them. And they'll put in the Joker, and it will be a problem with people because you're glorifying violence. And it's like, okay.
I honestly think that the reason I put it out, I think that the studio knows it, and I think they're putting all their money on Joaquin Phoenix, and that's it. And I think that they just of the ones
they want them to make a sequel though. They're already talking.
It made $1 billion. Yeah. It's popular in the pop culture, obviously,
and it pissed a lot of people off.
Exactly, and it's probably why it made so much money. It's because so many people was like, oh, now I have to see it. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being in there. But I just think that the other 5 I have in here just seem a little bit more impactful for it. Anything else you want to talk about on the Joker?
Nah, we've talked about it before we brought it up, and it's getting closer to where we can actually go into it and talk about how we're getting closer to once it gets released out on digital. Spoilers are coming out. I don't care anymore. Mm-hmm. But for now, we've talked enough about that one. Everyone knows if you've listened at all that how much respect and love we have for that one. And so, what's your 5?
A movie that's going to get the Roma treatment. It's going to be this year's Roma. And I wanted to go see it last week, but I just couldn't bring myself to, just because it's a hard thing with foreign films for me. I don't necessarily like watching them, nothing against them. It's just like I have a hard time reading and then feeling the emotion of a movie. But Parasite is my number 5. I have no idea. I have not watched it. I don't know what it's about. But I've heard many positive things from it. It's sitting at 99% Rotten Tomatoes. You can watch it at Jordan Commons. You can watch it down the road here at Broadway Theater. So if you want to go watch it, it is available right now. So you can go see it, which I'll probably end up doing sometime soon. But yeah, Parasite is my number 5. I don't have anything other than that to say about it.
So Parasite, I haven't seen it yet either. It's one on, and I'm reluctant to see it because the director Hojo Kun, what was his name? Is
Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah, he did another one called The Host. That just same thing I heard about this. I want to say 5, maybe even more years ago. He did one called The Host that was all subtitled in foreign film and got all this buzz. And it's the best horror film, and you got to see The Host. And I watched it, went and found it, and I was just like, what? And even today, I'll have people say, "Did you see it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't get that. I didn't get it." And so I was so sour of hearing that you got to see this great, what is it, Korean, Japanese?
It's South Korean, yeah.
South Korean, and I'm like, and I was like, nope. And so now he's got another one that all of a sudden is getting a very similar plug, and I haven't, and so I know of it. I hear what's going on, but I'm also like, I still got to see Marriage Story.
Yeah. I'm assuming it's not on your list then.
No.
Okay. Cool.
It's the one that I want to put it in or not. I think it's a good story. I think if it does get in, it is because it's a very good foreign film. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But I'm just assuming they're trying to get more diversified. That's a good way of saying, well, yeah, we had all these films, but we also had a foreign film.
Yeah.
Yeah, your Roma theory.
Yep. What's your 4?
Number 4, Excuse me, where'd that come from? 1917.
See, that's my number 3. So
Yeah. So this is the one, and I was mistaken because I remember seeing the previews for it, but then the one that just came out that was getting everyone was loving on, the other one that was about war and stuff like that, I was like, this doesn't look anything like the clips were. And then when I saw it, I'm like, that's right, it was 1917. And apparently, I might be wrong, but I've heard that it's looked to shot.
it's a one shot.
Yeah, one shot. The whole thing, kind of like they did in
Birdman.
Birdman.
Yep.
So, and I mean, I'd be fascinated to learn how they do that kind of stuff. But
they, one of the trailers to Charlie's Angels, they did like a 5-minute thing where they were walking, and it's pretty intense how they did it.
did you see Charlie's Angels?
Yes.
Was it just the best?
Yes.
I actually want to see
I got to see it as well.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. I
Good.
hate that it's getting so much hate,
And that's getting great critic reviews. Who cares what the people
Kristen
think?
Stewart shines in it. Like, I was so excited to see her in a role that had more energy, that was more upbeat, and
she's not so sad all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's not so gloomy and
you know,
sparkly.
it's the characters that she picked or was
Yeah.
and it works for her. She does well in those roles, but like, this is a different side, and she did a great job and like stole every scene she was in. I just adore her.
Anyway, I mean, that's
Sidetrack.
but that's where we
But yeah,
detoured long enough.
1917 looks amazing,
Sam
and the way they shot
Mendes,
it was intense.
and his cast and crew, he brought the best in for this one. I mean, and I want to see it, of course. And I love the Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, just subtle. Like,
Yeah.
he's just there.
I'll watch him read the phone book.
Oh, yeah. He's so good. I love Benedict.
He's the same age as me too, so it always makes me a little sad. But
It's okay, Jim.
Yeah, I think this is obviously this is one of those that could just out of nowhere, just because it's the timing of it. With an election coming up, I think it might just be the one that Hollywood does that kind of thing.
Yeah,
throws
I'm hearing so many good things from it. Just the one shot, the kids in the movie. They were in the ones in the one movie you had me watch. What's it called?
I have you watch a lot of movies.
You did. Gosh, why can't I remember? What movie that you had me watch that he was in? It was when the kids were all like super smart, and like the mom died or something, and like the dad. Oh, it was Viggo Mortensen. Viggo Mortensen's movie. Which one did we watch?
Oh crap! I didn't mean to do that. I just dropped it all.
Which you didn't have me watch it. Somebody else.
Yeah,
had me
I'm
watch
like, this isn't one of mine, man.
Oh man, it's gonna bug me. Mr. Perfect or something like that?
Oh no, yeah. Oh, Mr. Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. Yes, that one. I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, yes, that one.
Mr.
Yeah.
So the kid,
Mr. Fantastic.
he is in that one, and he does. And I heard he does a great job.
The
in this.
oldest brother.
Yeah, the oldest brother.
Okay.
And-
Now, sorry, I was already like looking into. I'm listening to you, but I'm also
Yeah.
trying to like get ready for the next one. And
no, it's okay.
you had
It's
me
okay.
lost.
So yeah, that but this is as Oscar bait as it gets. One shot movie in World War One. It's kind of a given that this is going to be a good one. I'm excited to see it. Comes out in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's a theater one. You sit there and you let the stuff blow up around you. And...
Exactly. All right, what's your number 3?
Is it my 3 or no? It's yours.
My number 4.
Yeah, man.
My number 4 is Jojo Rabbit.
Number 4, Jojo Rabbit.
Is Jojo Rabbit on your
when he
list?
drops right there, Jojo Rabbit.
We should.
Jojo Rabbit is the one that I think will go like in the 8th, 9th slot. And
Okay, so
Jojo Rabbit is
So we have very varying different lists so far.
I think Jojo Rabbit will get and it's getting ignored, and I think it's a tragedy that it is. But I think Jojo Rabbit, out of all the movies I saw this year, is the one that hit me the hardest.
Yeah,
and it was the comedy. Good.
Then you've seen it. I haven't, so
Yeah.
I can't really say much on it. I just think that I've heard enough people talk about it, the buzz around it. So
yeah. So you haven't. So I guess I could talk a little bit about it because you haven't seen it. So Jojo Rabbit, if the brilliance of Jojo Rabbit and Taiki Waititi,
you'll get it eventually.
Taiki Waititi,
You're almost there.
Taika Waititi,
Almost.
Waititi.
Yes.
Waititi. I gotta remember them TTs. Okay. That came out wrong. So Jojo Rabbit. So if I told you the plot of this movie, if I told you what it was about, and I've even tried to explain it to people, and I've gotten these weird faces because they are like, "Yeah, you can't talk about those things," and I'm like, So it's a comedy in a time where the Joker director came out and said he doesn't do comedies anymore because you can't make fun of anything. Waititi's like, okay, and he made a movie. So you're trying to pitch this to someone. Okay, so this is about a young Nazi boy who's trying to be the best little Nazi he can be, going to Nazi school, and has a mother who's just trying to live in Nazi Germany, and they're just people in Germany trying to live their lives that happen to be under a terrible, terrible regime. They're trying to live their life and not get killed on their way down to get bread. I mean, it's that serious, but they're trying to find a life. There's still a life happening during that.
Yeah.
And so the kid who wants to be a good little Nazi boy has an imaginary friend who's Hitler.
Because he probably idolizes Hitler as a kid.
He has him on his wall, and he
Yeah.
has him. And so could you imagine the faces of some people who are open-minded, and they're all like, "No, you don't talk about Nazis." I'm like, yeah, I guess technically they're Nazis, but they're not. They're just people that were
They're
just
not
born in East Germany.
Nazis.
And but I'm serious.
Yeah.
Try to tell people. Then I got a few of those from different people, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay, that makes the movie even more brilliant now because people are like seriously like, oh, I'm not watching a movie about Nazis," and it's like they're still. Beautiful story.
Yeah.
And it's
Taika's playing Hitler, which
Yeah.
is funny because he's New Zealander. So
and it's brilliant, and
White face, boo.
and it's and it should get way more plug, and it's the one that if I had one I would want to win, it'd be Jojo Rabbit this year.
that's good.
It's my number one so far.
And I want to see it. And the only reason why I haven't is because I've been so picky about not wanting to spend money to go see a theater. I've been hoping my AMC would bring it, but I don't think it has. That's the same reason why I bought a ticket to go see The Irishman. So I'll have to do that the same way because it's so nice that the Jordan Commons Theater. Shout out to the Jordan Commons Theater because it's one of the bigger theaters that allow these smaller movies to kind of still go and do their thing. If you're not Broadway theater, if you're not going to Broadway theater, which is about a 20-minute drive from me, which I don't really like to do because I don't like coming to work on the weekends. And
Nothing wrong with that. I
Nothing
don't like
wrong.
to work. I don't like to go to work during work days.
so that's fair.
All right. So before you go to my three, nice little. I'm gonna do a midway punt. I'm gonna give you a complete off the wall movie that I saw that no one's talking about. It just went completely under the radar because that's what the movie hour is all about.
Okay.
That I just want to point out there. And then so you have until the end of this round to think of your movie, right? So at the end of three, so that's like the halfway break. You're gonna tell me the movie nobody saw that you should go see this movie.
Okay.
And my movie is The Art of Self-Defense.
Okay, you were telling me about
It
this.
came out this year. It is directed by a Riley Stearns. It stars one Jesse. Everybody hates him for some reason.
I like
Eisenberg,
Jesse. I like Jesse.
but he gets a lot of like hate behind him. And
He
it is a dark, hilarious comedy about a guy who's just nobody likes him, self-conscious nerd and he just gets picked on everywhere, and he decides to take a karate class because he gets beat up. And so he starts this karate class as a white belt. I don't think he ever gets past orange belt. That's how like quickly this all happens in this movie. And it's so dry, it's so weird. Emily came in and watched it for 5-10 minutes, and she's like, "What in the hell are you watching?"
It was, yeah. Like,
Super odd.
I saw about 2 full scenes.
And then, so she leaves, and then she's like, for the next hour, I'm laughing. She goes, "You really like this movie, don't you?" Well, this movie's hilarious.
He's laughing out loud. That
Came out
doesn't
of
happen
nowhere.
that
I've
much.
only seen the poster, and then I heard like just that it was a movie, and I saw the poster, and I was like, okay. And it's easily one of my just like, where did that come from? That's one of those movies that I'm gonna keep and hand to people and say,
Just watch it.
watch it.
Yeah. And you want me to give me my...
No, wait till the end of it. Give yourself
Okay.
a minute, because then give your 3. I'll give 3, and then
Okay.
and then
Well,
you give
I've
yours.
already given out my 3. My
Oh,
3.
What's your 4 then? Yeah, I guess. Or,
Well, so we've my 3 was 1917.
all right.
And 4 was Jojo Rabbit. So go to your 3.
Okay, so my 3 would be a little movie that I know it's probably going to be the one that ends up winning, and I'm gonna eat my own words on here. Is Marriage Story, the one with your boy, your
Adam
man
Driver.
crush,
I love Adam Driver.
and Adam.
He's the odds-on favorite to win Best Actor.
Yeah, right now I can give you like the at the moment right now. Actually, the odds right now for Best Actor is Joaquin Phoenix. Actually,
Is he
then
still walking?
Adam,
Okay.
and then Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
that's the list, but they're all so close.
It's
right
a
now.
3-run. It's
Yeah.
a 3-horse race.
Absolutely. So, but anyways, it's. I don't even know anything about it.
Neither do I. It
I
comes
don't-
out in a couple weeks.
I just
on
all
Netflix.
all I hear whenever I hear that movie, and it's not even out, and all I hear about is how wonderful it is, and how great everyone is, and how Scarlett Johansson is finally showing she can act. I'm like, what do you mean finally showing she can act?
Yeah, who was saying
She's
that?
been in some good ones too. In Her Skin, Dark.
She's good in her too.
Yeah,
I share her
she
voice.
wasn't even supposed to be in that.
Yeah, but she's good in it.
So I don't know anything about it. Can't talk about it. Don't know anything. I just know enough about Oscars and what happens.
Yep.
That's the one that it just wins.
It's my favorite to win Best Picture.
And you haven't
It's
even seen it.
It's my number one. And yeah, it's sitting at 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. The weird thing with Rotten Tomatoes, I don't like bringing it up too much, but it is a thing. And
I love Rotten Tomatoes because you don't have to take it to heart. Just the same thing
Yeah.
I always say: don't take a bad a movie that bombs doesn't make it bad. So a critic likes it doesn't make it good, but it gives you a ground, like something to work from.
Here's something that I want to throw out right now that if you want to, we can go do it.
Deep.
It is showing tonight at Jordan Commons at 10:30 p.m.
It's tonight playing
What?
the marriage.
I might take Tambi and me
Marriage
to
Story.
go,
Right.
and if you guys want to come,
Can I get you a camcorder where you just hold it?
No, stop
Sure.
it.
no, we support the arts.
I know, I'm kidding. Holy crap!
But I didn't even see that. I just scrolled down. Yeah, it's playing in the Jordan Commons Theater at 10:30. I might put a message on our post on our board
On
just
fishing.
and see if people want to come out and
Well,
watch.
I
it
know
with
we
us.
have to get ready. We have to get our portion of tomorrow's meal
Thanksgiving
ready.
That's fair.
By us, I mean Emily.
I'll let you know how it is.
Just
because
kidding, Dave, I'll help.
I definitely am probably gonna go see this.
I will see it. Is it coming out on Netflix?
It comes out December 3rd or something like that.
Oh, that's quite a ways away. So,
So
all right. Well, then, which
We
one?
can.
Which one on the list are we at with you then? Since I guess it goes out of order a little bit. So
yeah, because we already mentioned my third, but Marriage Story is your third. So, and 1917 was mine, my third one. So, number 2, I guess would be for me. My number 2 is The Irishman. Irishman is long, but you don't feel it that well. Like, you don't feel the 3.5 hours. It is 3.5 hours, and it does not shy away from that. But it is really just kind of just fun to watch, and it is naturally funny. There are moments where you just like laugh, and it doesn't like you're not set up for a joke. It is serious when it needs to be serious. It's about a driver that becomes a hitman for one of the biggest mob bosses in Philadelphia, which I thought was really kind of cool. Joe Pesci is great.
came out of retirement.
Yeah, he came out of retirement for it.
Isn't Jimmy Hoffa?
Jimmy Hoffa. He's not Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah, Al Pacino.
Al Pacino is Jimmy
Yeah.
Hoffa. And then you have Robert De Niro, who's the lead in it, and they do the whole facial de-aging on both of on Joe Pesci and De Niro, and I think Al Pacino a little bit. But it's really cool because you see them as they are right now, like their age. Joe Pesci, and then
they had to go back even when they were going to release it and did even more of the young looking.
It's just crazy because you see moments like they're there and they're old, and you see how old they are, and then they just flash to the next scene
and they're young again,
and they look like you're watching Godfather
that's
again.
Like Tron Legacy, where they first started doing that, and we found out that was less like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
and it didn't age at all. It just even Star Wars Rogue One I just watched the other day, and it looks like a really high end PS4 game.
Yeah, exactly right. And it was just really cool to watch. But there's subtle things that you catch, like Robert De Niro is very old in this scene, but he looks very young. Like he's like stomping out a guy, and it looks like a 70-year-old man stomping out like a 20-year-old. And De Niro does a great job. It is a reason why he's up there with Hawking for this Best Picture nomination or Best Actor nomination. But it was cool watching Joe Pesci. Al Pacino was unrecognizable as Jimmy Hoffa, which was really cool. And yeah, it was solid. It's 3.5 hours. You don't feel it, but you will understand why it's 3.5 hours.
3.5 hours.
So you just kind of have to sit there and just digest it. I don't know. What are your thoughts on The Irishman? Where does it land with you?
So Irishman. So here's the problem I have with Irishman is Scorsese's a genius. Scorsese is the man. Scorsese has made movies. He's won Best Director in 1981 with Raging Bull. He won Best Director in 1989 with Last Temptation of Christ. He won 1991 with Goodfellas. He won 2003 Gangs of New York. He won 2005 with Aviator. He won 2012 with Hugo. Oh, wait, that's just nominees, some of these, but still, he's up for just all this. And then where did he actually get to where he started winning? Do you know how many actual Best Picture wins he has?
Best Picture wins or Best...
He's been nominated for all these. Sorry, yeah, he's been nominated for...
Or Best Actor.
No, Best Director.
Oh.
Scorsese.
Scorsese. I don't think he's won.
You keep going through, and then all these 2014, The Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay.
You keep going through it, right? His only Best Director win was for 2007's The Departed.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He doesn't have many.
Have many, and he's the man. And so I could see this one's supposed to be his one of his best, or just like a swan song, like way to go.
It's probably like a swan song.
But they're saying that's what I'm hearing, and so I think it's going to be one of those that gets a lot of that. And
Godfather never won it.
He didn't direct that. That was Coppola.
Okay, you're right. That's right.
Francis Ford Coppola, who's another weirdo, but really good. But it's just one of those movies that I want to see. It's on my list. I can't wait. And it's definitely going to be fun, and I know it's going to be in the contention. And if you look at his everything that he's done, you'd think that he would have won more directors. And do they just give him one on his swan song to like? Then do they do something else, like not Best Picture, but give him the director, or something? I think something like that's going to happen.
That makes sense.
It will be nominated for something, and then he'll make 5 more movies.
Yeah, and to kind of double up, and we'll hear what your 2 and 1 are.
Yeah.
Is it one of those two?
Yeah, that's my number 2.
Okay, I'm curious what your number 1 is.
Yeah.
And kind of going in on that, why I think Dolomite Is My Name is going to get forgotten in a lot of regards is because the odds favorite to win Best Picture are 2 Netflix movies, Marriage Story and the Irishman. And they spent their money, and they're going to make it because that it's 2 big movies that they got in their wheelhouse, and I just don't think Dolomite's going to have the money behind it to get to where it needs to be to get nominated, which is unfortunate. Which it was one of my honorable mentions as well. But all right, what's your number 1?
My number 1 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay, yeah, that's another.
Yeah, and I think it's because same kind of thing with the Scorsese thing. You go back and you can look at Quentin Tarantino. It's even more embarrassing. He's won very, very few Academy Awards. He's won 1 for Best Writing. For Django Unchained, he wrote Best Screenplay for Pulp Fiction, and he had to share that one with Roger Avery. But other than that, Best Director for Pulp Fiction. But other than that, like, he's been just snubbed. And the fact that he finally had a movie that made money, and he is, the golden boy, and they want him to make more movies because he keeps saying he's going to be done.
He's done.
And it's just got, it's got Leo, it's got everything that a best movie's supposed to. It's got the writer, it made the money. It's got enough controversy behind it that people, it's got something to make people say no. And I just, if they're not going to give it to Scorsese, then who are they going to give it to? It's one of those things.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised, and we'll revisit this list
when they go La La Land. I mean Moonlight.
Yeah, it's like, we will revisit this.
Yeah,
list.
And it might change in a month
because, like I said, 1917 wasn't on my list, and it came out.
And we haven't seen them.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet. So
who knows what happens? How can they know that's going to win? Like
a lot of people have seen it, so those people
because I care what critics say, but at the same time I don't.
Yeah,
and so why is everyone telling me what's going to win? And I'm like, oh, that's gonna. Then I buy right into it.
I'm so excited to go watch The Marriage Story tonight. I was just like, that's on my mind right now.
See, and I hope because so here's my problem with the the other problem I had with now it's the Ford versus Ferrari, which
Yep.
we kind of spoke about a little bit, is my problem with it is that I've heard such great things and how amazing it is, and it's a good story, but it's like my anticipation made it long.
Yeah, that's true.
And like, when's this thing gonna happen? Everyone tells me it's so amazing. They're just telling us, and it kind of killed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, Spence on the show, The Drive, he said similar things.
Yeah,
It's just-
not that it
it's
wasn't
okay.
good, but now you're telling me how wonderful it's the best thing ever, which makes me, you know me, we can debate what color the desk is.
Yeah.
And so you tell me that this is the best movie ever, and I'm not saying it's not a good movie, but I can it's not the best movie. What are you talking?
Yeah.
I could find many faults with it, and I think I'll probably like it more when it shows up on HBO again.
Yeah,
And then I'm like, why didn't I buy this one?
But there's so many good movies out right now,
Yeah.
and I guess I can give my. Unless you have anything else you want to add to this list.
No, I'm just kind of going through it right now, and you know, you if you guys, I know this is huge nerd stuff, but this is stuff that I like is, you know, you go Irishman has got you know, how many are they predicted to win it, and versus the, you know, you can go, they have like a full thing, and you probably go bet on it in Vegas, and so
Yeah.
and it just amazes me how big of a thing it is, and everyone's like, no, but in 7 months from now we can talk about these films, and nobody's
Nobody's
saw
gonna remember them. Yeah, you talk about Green Book. It's like,
and they'll
what?
go, oh yeah, I remember those guys. They told us to go see it. So I'm looking through it. A lot of these movies are like that, where the ones I've seen have been really good, or just, you know, really good, but not the ones that I wanted to see. And but there's a lot of them: The Marriage Story, Parasite, Little Women. You keep going down. The Farewell, which we didn't even talk about.
That's
I
on
thought
my honorable mentions.
I thought that would be on your list for sure. And
Yeah.
I keep not watching it because I'm like, well, I still got to see this. I still got to see that. And to where, I mean, what else have we haven't even? The Rocket Man.
Rocket Man. Yep. A movie, and this is going to be the one that I want to talk about here that I bought this week just because I forgot how much I liked it, and it's gotten completely forgotten. And the actor his name should be in contention for Best Actor at the end of the year, but it's not going to be because it's such a small movie and it's such a small industry, and they're not going to have the money to back it, which is unfortunate. And they're just going to completely forget about it. And it came out in January. It's been a long time, and I remember it was one of the first movies that we talked about as the movie hour. Is The Mustang?
The Mustang. Yeah. What happened to that?
Yeah, Matthias.
And the last
Schoenaerts.
black man in San Francisco kind
That's
of
it,
had
man.
that same
Yep.
thing feel about it, and then it disappeared.
Disappeared. Yeah, the Mustang. I watched it again on Sunday, and man, it's such a good movie. It's short. It is such a short movie. It's like an hour and 20 minutes. And
I'm all right with that.
Yeah,
and I'm
it's
fine
totally
with it. I'm fine. I watched the 4-hour cut of Hateful Eight, so
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care how long. It's just,
Yeah.
is there a reason for it?
Yeah, it's solid, and I remember just sitting there like, man, I forgot how short this was, and yeah, it's just so
I'll check
special.
it out because it's one of those that's like one of those two where I'm like, okay, is it time to check out that one now? And it's like, no, well, I haven't seen, or I'll find another reason to go back and watch.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
watched a lot of the Star Wars again. I'm getting ready for it. And,
preparing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really
and how freaking awesome is
Mandalorian. Yeah, it's really good.
Just put that out there. What a dude he is. The first time he gets paid any real money, what does he do? He goes out and buys himself a new suit. Such a dude.
and
thing.
then he goes and steals what he paid.
Right.
Got paid for, right?
He goes back for
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda, baby Yoda.
I bet nobody expected us to go that way.
Wow.
So we have just a few minutes. So,
Yeah.
so we definitely, I mean, we just talked about a lot of really good movies, and if we've missed any, let us know. Like, there's Gemini Man that's on this list. And if anyone knows anything about Will Smith,
Will
Smith, yeah, but it's like in the top 50.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, okay. I mean, will you watch it on HBO?
No, I probably.
I don't know. What if I'd say, dude, you should check? How about The King? The King's a big Netflix
This
movie.
is the one with Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah, and that one got me. But let's just kind of go through real quick while we have a few minutes. Which of the directors have we not talked about that you think will be on the list?
For Best Director?
Best Director.
The Marriage Story director, probably.
Marriage Story director is Noah Baumbach.
Why does that name sound familiar?
He's done a bunch of stuff. You pull up Noah. Yeah, he's one of those. When you see his other movies, you'll go, oh, okay, yeah, that guy. that's he makes good movies, but they're like that. And then everyone else, you got Martin Scorsese, Quentin Tarantino, Bong Joon-ho, Sam Mendes. I mean, we talked about all these people. We didn't talk about Greta Gerwig. from
Greta
Little
Gerwig.
Women. Yeah, Taki we talked about. Just to finish out, Pain and Glory's Pedro Almodovar. No, I don't know anything about that movie or him.
Is that the one with Zorro? Who plays Zorro?
Antonio Banderas.
Yeah,
that might be that. That sounds right, dude.
Yeah, because Antonio Banderas is the other
That was
one.
in
That's
something that was supposed to be getting plugged,
he's the other. He's like the fourth man in the best actor race.
right?
He's like there's
Okay.
the 3-horse race, and then the
That makes
Antonio
sense.
Banderas.
That's where and then Todd
and then Leo.
Phillips. Todd Phillips is number 9, and then number 10 in a movie that so far I thought for sure would come up by now, and the fact that I have to bring it up. Marielle Heller directed a small little film called A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Oh yeah, we haven't even talked about it.
Not even
I
a
saw
peep
this,
about it.
I saw it this weekend.
How is it?
It's really good.
Was it?
But it's
Did you
not,
see
it's
the
not-
documentary?
It's not better than the documentary.
See, the documentary kind of had
real,
was a
though.
little creepy to me.
Yeah. Creepy to you?
Yeah,
Like
it's somebody that nice and that genuine hearted. I want to believe it so bad, but at the same time, there's just a part of me that has the voice in my head like he's a creeper.
yeah. And
He started the pacifism of all the kids. The participation award.
Yeah.
That started with Mr. Rogers.
yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
Everybody's included. Everyone's the same.
But
Which he's right, but
it's
wrong.
It's a nice movie, and it's gonna get Tom in a supporting actor
He'll be
nomination.
in for something for sure. And,
And-
we haven't even talked about it.
Yeah, it's solid. I
Jordan
liked it a lot.
Peele. Yeah, we go down. That's pretty much it. John Favreau, who just bombed with his Lion King.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think that's a shot in.
I'm just looking at some names out there, dudes. Great. And then anyone out of the best actress, because we've talked a lot about best actress, but we
Actors.
haven't said nothing about actress. And then
I don't even know who's the favorite for that. Is it
it's this person that's already going to win it. It's over. Renee
is it?
Zellweger.
for?
Judy.
Oh yeah, Judy.
And
Duh.
I will almost watch Judy, and then I read what it was about, and I'm like, so it's 35 years after Wizard of Oz, right before she died, she's doing a 1-act play on and that's what it's like a 2-hour thing about her one. And I was like, then maybe I don't. I'm sure she's wonderful in it.
Yeah,
Scarlett Johansson
for Marriage Story.
uh,
I'm hoping Lupita
Charlize
gets
Theron,
for.
Bombshell,
Oh yeah, okay, that's yeah. I'm hoping
and
Lupita.
Awkwafina's in there.
I hope Aquafina. Yeah, I hope Lupita gets nominated. I feel like everyone's kind of forgotten.
She's in there, yeah, right, because it came out a long ago. And Us is a very great. I keep telling people, they're like, no, I thought Us was solid. It's on
Yeah.
HBO right now. You want to watch a good, fun, solid movie? Go watch
Scary
it.
movie.
Yeah, we watched
Ish.
the beginning of it twice. The
Yeah,
beginning's
we
great.
We did watch the game twice.
Emma Thompson's on that borderline. Helen Mirren, who I don't know how old is she now? 87.
Something like that.
Still gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'd be all like, sorry, babe.
Helen Mirren.
Going out with Helen Mirren. She's going out with what's her name from
Kristen
her.
Bell?
Yeah,
Kristen
so
Bell.
that's
Yeah,
fine. Fine.
that-
It's fine.
I
She
can't
already-
make any promises.
She already outed herself on Facebook.
Yeah, but Kristen
so.
Stewart's way down the list at 17, babe. Sorry, she's not going to get an Oscar for this one.
That's okay.
Um,
Well, she's in Seabird
Antonio
that
Banderas,
comes out
Yep.
Plain Gore.
is
next month
is
too.
Jonathan Pryce and Two Popes is getting some
yeah,
plug.
is Meryl Streep the favorite for Best Supporting Actress?
I haven't even looked that far. Laura Dern, Jennifer Lopez.
J-Lo's gonna. Yeah, she's also gonna. I need to see
the Hustlers.
The Hustler.
You just like to look at hookers.
Well, I haven't seen it, so I don't know what I would like
It's
to look
about,
at.
that's what it's about. They come together to.
All right.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Margot Robbie, Bombshell.
Yeah, Margot.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah, she is.
I just saw another. I can't do that because I don't remember right now. But I just watched a movie. It was one of her first movies that she was in. Where now it's in my head, and I just watched it, and I got to tell you because this movie was great, but it was an older one, and Margot. We'll talk.
Wolf of
off-air.
Wall Street.
I'll find it. No. Before Wolf of Wall Street. Even.
Okay.
About a guy who can. About Time.
About time. I think I know what
No,
that is.
it's the one where the kid from Harry Potter. He's Domhnall Gleeson.
Donald Gleason. Okay,
Yeah,
yes, I know what that
and
one
and
is.
so the movie's not like a wonderful, fantastic. I mean, it's a beautiful movie. And it'll make you cry. It's not. There's big holes in it that you can pick
Yeah.
apart, but he can go into a closet and repick any time. And there comes to a point where he's got his wife that he meets her. Everything goes perfect, but then he had to change something else. So then he spends the next part of the movie trying to find her to make her fall back in love with him because
Yep.
he wants his wife. But then one of the girls he was dating was the Rob Martin, and she killed him. And so later in the movie, all of a sudden he's got the opportunity. He's in a committed relationship. Margot Robbie's like, come on in. and he just looks at her and he's like, I gotta go. And he ran home, woke up his girlfriend, and he's like, marry me. I want to marry you.
Aw.
It's like one of those kind of movies.
Yeah, so
And
sad.
Yeah, no, it's good,
Love.
good. And at the end of it, we'll talk off air. But it's if you haven't seen that one, I don't even know why that popped in my head just because of Margot Robbie.
Robbie.
I didn't even know she was making movies back then. And that movie, you want to look good for date night, pull that one out and cry with your wife or bring over dad.
And that's a solid one. But yeah, do we want to challenge for next week?
Well, who do we have next week? I haven't even looked.
Justice Page.
Right, Justice is he's one of our biggest
supporters.
he's always clicking on stuff. I'm very curious about. I haven't really thought about one, but we could definitely throw maybe.
I have one.
All right, Emily, what do you got?
It's a documentary that just came out on Prime. It's called The One Child Nation, and it's about China's one-child policy.
Yeah,
it's
she
worth
cares
a watch.
about babies.
It's worth a watch.
But they did all the like I guess the ramifications of when they went to only one child in China.
Oh yes,
like what it actually, now that it's been long enough, what it
The
actually has
policy,
done.
35 years
They
later.
have studies behind it now that what it did.
I watched Mike Birbiglia's special on Netflix yesterday. By the way,
who?
Mike Birbiglia. He's very funny.
I love stand. You know me. I'll watch. I haven't heard that one, but
he is solid.
Netflix,
Netflix,
Hulu?
very
Okay.
Netflix. And but my movie to challenge.
Well, I think we should challenge movies that we need to see that are on the list that we
Okay.
haven't seen.
Yeah,
I think those are the ones we should challenge each other
that's
with.
fair. Yeah.
Until we get back onto our normal track, because I got to get some of these in anyways.
You're right.
And I'm going to make you watch Jojo Rabbit.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just going to give that because I want to start talking about it with someone else that's seen it.
Then
because nobody's seen it.
I want you to watch The Farewell.
Very well. Aha! Bastard. Okay, I didn't. Yeah, sorry. Beep. All right, man. I'll watch it. I'll probably love it, and then I'll hate you for it.
Probably.
Yeah.
There are a couple movies this year that I was worried to have you watch. The Farewell and the Fred Rogers movie. I can never remember the name of it.
Won't you be my neighbor or whatever?
Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
No, but it's okay. See, that's why this is good. I know you say that stuff, and you're like, I'm like, you shouldn't be worried about my opinion. You should want my opinion because it's just like, I watch these weird movies.
Not because I don't think you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
It's just very real stuff in life.
That's what I mean. That's why I think you should say I'm interested to see what this one does to you, rather than
Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah, I want to know your reaction to it because our back and forth, and you can come right at me with these weird little like the art of self-defense was crap, dude. Cable Guy sucked, dude, and I love these movies. Yeah. So like that's why it works is because you can go watch Frozen 2 all you want, but you're honest about it. At least you can be like, I wouldn't have paid for that. So
I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
All right.
So we got those in.
Perfect. Let's do it. Emily, you got the closeout?
That's pretty good. Hey man, it flew by. Yeah, it's just the two of us.
Just the
you
two
and
of
I,
us. That's
just the two.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
It's getting weird. I need another person in this room. Thanks, guys.
I'm on.